Hey everyone, today's video is a little different than what we usually do here. This is a partially scripted rant about some changes that have taken place in the Korean servers and may make their way over here. Forgive me if it feels a little unstructured or awkward, as it isn't my usual style, but settle in and get comfy. Allow me to pitch you a hypothetical. What if YouTube decided to limit the number of videos you could watch down to just 10 each week? Or perhaps 10 videos from channels you subscribe to each week before kicking you off to watch weird Spider-Man and Elsa videos on YouTube Kids.
Yeah, that's the life.
Sorry, you've watched 10 videos, LOL.
Hey, I was watching that!
Would you still use YouTube at that point? After the obvious choice of watching 10 of my videos, you might as well just move on. Well, in a bold move, Nexon has decided to implement a patch in the Korean server that limits the number of entries to tech missions to 10 weekly in exchange for a drop rate increase implemented in such a way that allegedly mostly just serves to make the junk you don't want more common. And many players in the North American server are scared that the same update may make its way over here. Before I rant, I would like to mention that this update is not confirmed to be coming to North America yet, but Nexon has also not provided any assurance that it will not be coming at time of writing. Community Manager RC has been doing a great job and recently said on the subreddit that the North American branch is very aware of how unpopular the change is, but hasn't been able to give any solid confirmation. This is not a Mabinogi is doomed to die video, and there's still hope that we can avoid this altogether. If this is something that matters to you, please make yourself heard by contacting Nexon or using your platform if you have one. Just please try to remember that the people you're speaking with aren't the ones who made this call and try to be civil. But anyway, if it's not already obvious, I think this is a bad change and I would like to discuss why. The biggest problem, I think, is that this update would turn Mabinogi into a once or twice a week chore for late game players. Glen Verna is already capped at 3 runs, Krombass is capped at 10 runs. As it stands, Tech is the only late game content with no run cap and relevant drops. For a game that is absolutely desperate for player retention, constantly running attendance checks and AFK events, this change is just bizarre. It's puzzling. I don't understand. Are they expecting top players to funnel down into Phantasm, a dungeon with less meta-relevant drops? Veterans, where you generally get a Jasper and some used gum in the end chest? I guess Magmel exists, but there's only so much demand for Pet Trainer Guff, and also Magmel is suffering. No, many players are going to log in, do their weekly runs in 1 to 2 sittings, then log off until eventually they leave the game altogether, neutering the player count and exacerbating the next problem. I don't claim to be an in-game economist or anything, but this seems like an update that would just absolutely f*** an already bad market. With already rare materials becoming harder to farm, the existing demo or ruin weapons will probably inflate in price, and the new Perseus weapons may not be affordable either. Arcana is doing a lot of lifting to increase the power level of players, but the scarcity of materials is going to make it much harder for those who haven't upgraded from Celtic Staves and Baffle Hunters, and open a huge gap in power between established players and newer returning ones. It's also worth mentioning that someone over on the subreddit has pointed out that the run limit may also cause more intense gatekeeping around runs, and I think there might be a kernel of truth there. The entry limit makes it much riskier to bring someone who's learning the content or needs a carry with you, and while I think that as a whole our community tends to be pretty helpful, I worry that weaker players who aren't as social or lack connections might find it a lot harder to learn tech beyond just watching tutorials or posted clears. I guess also, just on a personal level, I'm confused by the why of this update. It has felt like the devs are just simply not content to let players stay in the zone of hard mode dungeons, elite shadow missions, and have been dumping power creep updates to usher us into late game content, and now they are just going to limit our ability to actually play it. We've had a lot of great changes over the last year or two, and in my mind, we had entered a new era of Mabi. I was optimistic that capable hands had taken the reins, and that I could, without reservation, advocate for new players to come to the game. For old players who felt burned by previous decisions to come back and see all this shiny new content. But this change in Korea and a lack of reassurance that it won't cross the ocean to us has me questioning that stance now. I loved this game. Even during times when I don't play that much, it's still really important to me. In the grand scheme of things, I'm not an old player, but I have memories in Aaron. Friends I've made in my time with the game, and I don't want to see it hamstrung by bad decisions. So please, whether you're a Nexon employee or a fellow player, do what you can to stop this from being implemented. It's important that we make ourselves heard. It feels weird to chill for myself after such a dour ending, but we're close to 500, so maybe consider subscribing if you'd like to see more. I have a lot more less doomery content in the works. Share your thoughts down below if you'd like. I'd love to hear your opinions. That's it for now, and I'll catch you in the next one.
With the Mobby lore, internet effigy, videos galore. He's the techware fox dude.
I would also like to thank my patrons, Sunflares, as well as Emigen, for boosting the community server. I really appreciate your guys' support.